Greetings. Welcome to a new episode of Mobility Conversations. Our guest today is Mr. Hardeep Singh Brar, Vice President and Head Sales and Marketing at Kia India. Mr. Brar, it's a pleasure to have you on our show today. Welcome.
Thank you, Devanshu, for having me.
Uh, I'd like to ask you start by asking you, how do you look at the current market situation? How do you assess the festive season for this year?
Okay, I think the festival season is going to be good because there's a long pending booking list that we have with us. So we feel it is going to be quite strong overall. As you must be hearing from various media news that there are almost 10 lakh bookings in the system. So I think keeping that in mind and also supply chain improving, I feel the situation is going to be the festival season is going to be very good.
How has the year been for you till August this year, and how does September look like?
So till August, we've done quite well. In fact, last year we closed at close to 6% market share. We are already close to 6.7% market share, doing much better than the industry. So we are growing at about 25%, and I think by the end of the year we would be somewhere about 30%. So it has been a great year for us.
Okay. Are we out of the woods yet, considering the kind of challenges that the industry faced? One, of course, because of the COVID pandemic, and then also looking at supply side challenges. Are we out of the woods yet? What are the challenges that you still continue to see?
So I would say yes, largely yes, we are out of the woods because if you look at the supply side, the industry is consistently doing about above 3 lakh units every month, and lately it is inching very close to 3.5 lakhs. In fact, this month is likely to be the best ever, crossing 3.5 lakh units of supplies, which I think is a very good situation. The only thing is, when you get into little details of the variants and fuel types, there are still certain issues, but I would say they are largely 4 to 5%. 95% things are sorted now.
So, of course, you've had a great start. In less than 3 years, you've sold 500,000 vehicles. How do you see this transformation among consumers? Of course, we're moving towards electrified vehicles and other options. How do you assess this transformation?
So I think this transition is very interesting. If you look a decade or maybe before that, the Indian consumer was very cost conscious. So the cars which were low in price and even manufacturers were talking a lot about price points. About 5 years back, the market shifted to being a value conscious. They want features and also want a very good price. But I think after COVID, now customer wants everything in the car, and he doesn't mind paying the price that he wants, provided you are able to give him good features, good design, good technology. So I think he has moved away from being a value conscious now. The pride of ownership, I think it has taken over, and I think consumer has evolved a lot over a period of time. There has been a shift to the automatic transmissions in a big way. For example, we sell about 25% of our volumes come from automatic transmissions. Another 15 to 20% come from intelligent manual transmissions. So overall, 42% of our portfolio is automatic come intelligent manual transmission. Even in terms of connected cars, 50% of our portfolio is connected, which is also one of the best in the industry. So out of 5 lakh plus units that we have sold till now, 2.5 lakh units are connected. So there has been a huge shift the way consumer is looking at the cars and the way he is interacting with the car. Yeah.
Sure, consumers, of course, are much more aware today compared to what they were earlier. What is going to drive the future for you as a company, Mr. Brar?
So, see, we keep customer at the center of everything we do. So, whether it comes to products, how we design the products, we have a very strong research team. We do a lot of research as to what kind of cars the consumer wants, what kind of features do they want. So, we keep consumer at the center of everything we do. And so far as future is concerned, again, we are interacting with them, because there's a lot of talk about electric vehicles. So we are checking with them that, what kind of body style are they, would they prefer, what kind of price points and all of that. So And I think electrification is coming out very, very strongly. And I think if you look at the estimates, they're doing better than the forecast which have been made in the past. I think the forecast for this year was about 1% or less than 1% penetration. I think it'll be inching very close to 2%. And I think by 2025, EVs should be very close to 5%. So I think EV is the flavor of the day. But having said that, I think even the IC engines are going to stay and coexist with it. So we have a very, very strong focus on, even because even if it is 95% by 2025, you can imagine the volume. And if we assume the industry would be about 4 million or so, it's still strong 3.8 million cars. Even if by 2030, if we say 30% are electric vehicles, which the vision is, and the market is about 5 million conservatively, even then, you have still 3.5 million strong. So we still continue to, keep working on the IC engines, but simultaneously, we have already started working on the EVs as well. And you would have seen our first EV, which has been launched, which is the EV6. And we've got a great response. First day, when we opened the bookings, we got almost 350 units of booking, and our plan was only 100 units. So I think we far surpassed, what we expected, and that's the love of the consumers for the brand. Sure. And in 2025, we will be launching the India-centric, absolutely made for India, grounds up EV, which will be launched, and then there are a few more which will unveil at an appropriate time.
Sure. Thanks for sharing that perspective. From a product perspective, and also when you look at the segments and sub-segment strategy, what are the kind of opportunities that you see currently? Of course, you've talked about the EVs as well, but from now to, let's say, 2025, what are the kind of opportunities you see?
One, of course, as I said, EVs will be closing at about 2% this year. It'll be at 5%. So I think that's one opportunity which I spoke about. SUVs are still growing quite fast. If you look 5 years back, it was close to, anywhere about 20 to 25%. It has now come very close to 50%. It is ranging from 45 to 50%, and it is likely to grow. Right. And when I mentioned, 1 million pending bookings in the industry, I think largely it is in the SUV segment, which means the demand is even more than supply. I think that is one area where supply is still less than the demand, right? And also MUVs are coming up in a very, very big way because people want the entire family to go together. And MUVs are providing that kind of space, and we have car-ins in that. And you will see the kind of response we got for the car-ins from day one. And in fact, in first half of the year, it was the largest selling MUV in its segment in the first year of the launch. Right. So I think these are the two segments which are going to grow. And also, when we talk about the car-ins, while it's an MUV, but the styling is exceptional, which is, we say you get best of both the worlds. Right. You get space of an MUV and the styling of an SUV. So I think as the cars become, the design becomes better, I think people will not mind shifting from SUVs to MUVs, and hence we are in a very good space. So coming back to be precise to your question, SUVs and MUVs showcase a huge opportunity as we move forward.
Okay. Within the SUV segment, do you still see the compact SUV segment sort of constituting the bulk of the market share?
Yes, as on today, it is the largest share the small SUVs have. But again, it depends on where are the maximum number of launches, and we have seen, depending upon which segment has more number of launches, that segment grows. But in absolute numbers, yes, the lower SUV, because people are slowly graduating from the bigger hatches. So if we see about 10 years back, 65% of them were hatches, and out of that, significant portion were entry hatches. 5 years hence, the mid and the top end of hatchbacks were doing well, and people have now gradually shifted to the bigger SUVs, which are bigger in size, give you better ground clearance. So I would say the entry SUVs are going to be the flavor for next couple of years before maybe mid SUVs start exploding.
Okay. I was just doing some number crunching. I looked at the first 5 years of this fiscal, and in comparison to the first 5 months of the last fiscal, if you look at the Seltos numbers, the difference is probably just about 2,500, you correct me if I'm wrong, year to date. But Karen's, of course, has brought you about 30,000 units, right? So do you see that, do you see consumers actually moving out of a certain SUV segment to MUVs, like you said?
See, there's a very small overlap, but I think the two cars are very distinct, and customer is also very distinct. So when we look at the Seltos customers, they are largely husband wife with a small child, a very nuclear family, and hence they go and the age group would be about 25 to 35. When we look at Karen's, Karen's profile is about 30 to 40, 45, and you have larger families and you have old parents and you are staying together. So that is the kind of customer which is looking at Karen's. But of course, there are some people who love the styling of Karen's and they don't mind extra space to utilize as and when they want. So I would say the overlap is very minimal, but yes, it is there.
Okay. Okay. When you talked about demand and supply, I mean, your Anandpur plant is running at 3 shifts, right? And so how do you meet future demand? What is the plan thereof?
So, so as we are also exporting to 95 countries now, and we do about 20 to 25% of our volumes from the exports market. So as and when we look at the future domestic demand, we will obviously increase the domestic portion and kind of reduce the exports volumes. I think that's how we are looking at next couple of years. That how we are going to cater to the domestic demand. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about your focus on e-mobility. Of course, the EV6, you've talked about the demand and your plans for the next couple of years. Kia globally also talked about a strategic BEV model for India by 27. So is this the same product you talked about?
So globally, Kia is investing about $22 billion, and we are working on 14 battery electric vehicles, right? And out of those, I've already mentioned that we are launching one of them, which is going to be grounds up EV. So yes, that is part of those 14, and then we have EV6. Beyond that, we will share details at the appropriate time. Yeah.
Sure. So when you talk about the EV ecosystem, Mr. Brar, of course, you have also launched a 240 kilowatt charger in Kochi. How are you looking at working with the ecosystem partners in developing this whole ecosystem?
So I think working together is very crucial. So we are working with Tata Power in terms of using their app, because they have all the ecosystem of chargers. So we are working with them. So all our chargers will be they are already on the Tata app. So anybody wants to know where the Kia chargers are, because we have some of the best chargers. You mentioned 240 kilowatts chargers, and balance 14 locations we have 15. 150 kilowatt chargers. So I think these are the biggest ones. So Tata Power is one of them that we are working on right now. Secondly, we will be working with, as we expand further, we will be bringing in more dealers into our fold. Right now we are 12 cities and 15 dealers. So as we expand, our dealers will be playing a big role in that. And so far as how many numbers are we looking at, that is still work in progress. But all the partners that we need to work with to make EVs success, we will be. So the strategy is still in work in progress. This is a beginning, and I think we'll unveil it as we move further on this.
Mr. Brar, on the overall network, what is the current strength of Kia India, and how are you looking at growing it?
So we are present in 200 cities with 339 touch points, and by end of the year, we expect to hit a number of 400 touch points in about 215 cities. And in terms of service, we have mobile vans which can go to upcountry market up to the radius of 100 kilometers to serve the customers. And also within the big cities, we have service cars, because some customers, they don't want to go to workshop and want service to be done at their homes. So we have service cars for that. And our roadside assistance is available in nook and corner. So any concerns, there's a toll-free number, and our roadside assistance will be there. So overall, network-wise, pretty sorted.
I also wanted to ask you about, there's a strong market, buzz in the market about collaboration between Kia and Hyundai on the EVs. Is this something you can talk about?
See, we are competitors so far as go to market is concerned. So we will remain. We were competitors, and we will remain competitors so far as that part is concerned.
Okay, okay. So what would be your outlook for the remainder of the year, Mr. Brar?
We closed last year at about 181,000 units this year, and we work on calendar year. We are looking at somewhere around 240 to 250,000 units this year. Yeah.
Okay. Again, Kia globally has been a very strong sustainability player with large focus on sustainability. How is Kia India approaching sustainability?
See, we are one of course. I think electric vehicles is a big part of that. But besides that, we are looking at some CSR projects as well to make sure that we give it back to the society. And also within our plant as well, we are working on various initiatives to save power. For example, solar panels is one of the big initiatives we're working on, and also recycling of various parts. So these are small initiatives that we are working on, and again once we have concretized everything, we will be announcing those things.
Thank you so much for speaking to Mobility Outlook. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Dipanshu. Thank you.